We are at FCB Madrid, an international advertising agency. We will meet with Pedro Solar, Executive Creative Director here. We will cover very interesting topics with him and have several videos. I think you will enjoy them a lot. Now let's go. We're coming again. Hi, good, you?
Do you want to know this? In the past, the communication with the consumer was through the established media, such as TV, radio, newspapers, and billboards. Communication was unidirectional. Brands communicated the product advantage, and that was all. The digital revolution has changed everything. The consumer is no longer a passive subject. He's informed, he can buy, recommend, criticize, get together with other consumers, and even literally kill the communication of a product and the reputation of a brand. Now consumers have the power. They want to participate and interact. Accordingly, the relationship between brands and their consumers has changed radically. It's not enough to have a good product. Consumers want experience with products. Experience means something that adds value to their lives, something that they can talk about with their friends. Their relationship with brands is not functional, it's emotional. Hence, it's important to understand clearly how to connect and engage with consumers. Now everything is digital, and hence is spontaneous and changing every day. When the ground moves continuously, we need strategies and intuition more than ever. Intuition is something that we acquire when we live in the battlefield, on the spot. We can have the right intuition only when it's happening in real time. The latest trend in brand communications to cope with such dynamics is transmedia storytelling. We want to tell a brand a story to our consumers, but we want to do it in a fluid way, arriving to the consumers through many touch points in social media. For example, organizing an event and communicating it through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, radio, and online content. The story should not always be the same. We need to tell different parts of the story in different ways, in different media. The objective is to pass from the old paradigm of pushing the target to the new ideal of pulling the target and encouraging them to participate in the communication. A good example of the transmedia storytelling is the launch of the new Star Wars movie. There is a main story about the galaxies, but we have started receiving information through different touch points since 2 years ago. We were exposed to news on George Lucas selling the company, Disney hiring J.J. Abrams, who will be the new cast, pictures of the crew reading the script, trailers, interviews in the newspapers and magazines, a TV channel dedicated to broadcast the old Star Wars film, strict marketing during the launch, George Lucas being unhappy with the result, a patient of cancer asking to see the film before dying, the new video game, toys, the Star Wars soldiers in the White House. Star Wars community was also sharing all this news. It was just a conventional film made to satisfy its fans. But the result broke all box office records, the biggest worldwide and USA opening, the third film in the history to surpass $2 billion and still counting. In 2011, Jonathan Mildenhall, Coca-Cola Vice President of Global Advertising Strategy, spoke in Cannes Lions Festival about ideas that are so contagious that can't be controlled. This is what he called leaked content. Coca-Cola revealed that their consumers created more stories and ideas than the company itself did. The objective is to provoke conversations 365 days of the year. Here we observe the transition from classical storytelling to the concept of dynamic storytelling. This means that we need to allow the story to evolve as we interact and communicate with consumers. Another new trend that we are adopting is the design thinking philosophy. Design thinking is a method that works for innovation goals. It is based on observation of consumers and it explores consumer behaviors and provides insights in a way that the classic market research can never tell us. This philosophy allows us to observe consumers and brainstorm with different specialists to create new ideas. After a process of synthesis, the ideas have to be converted in prototypes, real models, real products that will be tested in the real world. With the new information obtained from the tests or prototypes, we refine the idea, the product or the service. Design thinking philosophy helps us create a real innovation for people. It is used to improve the web user's experience and e-commerce, and I assume we will hear a lot about this concept in the future. Digital improvements are changing our culture. Newspapers and music have changed forever. The way we buy products has changed. We can see a Levi's commercial online and buy it instantly. Creativity has changed. Ideas are no longer only based on the physical world, because we are also living in a virtual world. Our access to data has changed. All data generated by emails, WhatsApp, Facebook, tweet, bank transactions, business sales, navigation, web, biometrical scanners can be combined to form the big data. Another important new trend. There are programs to analyze the big data and find all our patterns and trends that can be used commercially. Everything is happening so quickly that it's sometimes difficult to follow the trends. Yes, digital improvements are changing everything. However, we should never forget that we try to appeal consumers' emotions, and emotions remain the same and will remain the same. The creative process during 80s and 90s was based in the talent to express selling ideas in a relevant way with originality, simplicity, capturing the attention of consumers. But today consumers are very sophisticated. They have learned all our techniques, so it's difficult to surprise them. Consumers know all our tricks, the way we do the things, the real goals we pursue. The challenge for the creative team is to create interest while communicating with consumers, who actually don't want to be interrupted with commercial messages. And the only way to connect with these people is to gratify them, make them love or think or inspire them with emotion, with experience. A brand can do this, just like an individual who wants to invite a friend to experience, enjoy good moments. Brands invite their consumers to a specific experience, such as musical festivals or football games. For example, Heineken is sponsoring music festivals and UEFA Champions League to strengthen relationship with consumers. Red Bull is creating incredible movie documentaries about extreme sports, as well as the jam of demand from the stratosphere broadcasted live to all around the world. The creative challenge is not to reach the target audience anymore. It is actually to build the audience. Our connection should be so intimate with our consumers that they want to see us and even are willing to pay to see our branded content. We had to find ways where our brands can share good moments to connect with the consumers. Creative ideas depend on our personal and cultural sediment, on our capacity to make things that have nothing in common, to build things that are completely new with using materials, creates the surprise. This is an alchemy that will never change.